Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Vinny Built Structures video. In this video we're going to be doing a couple of bucket elevators. But before we get on to that, I'm going to show you some highlights with stills of how I constructed the truck loading facility, which was the one that I was supposed to build in the last video, but you know, like I said, it looked too big, so I redid it and so on and so forth. But anyhow, at the end of the video, I will give you a sneak peek of what this little section of the cement plant is going to look like. So stay tuned and we'll get on with the video right now. Okay guys, since I showed you some of the highlights of how I put this structure together, it's basically exactly like the other two structures I built, except I used I-beams on this one. This is the mixer loading facility, and I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but from the hopper to under where the tanks are, see if I can get a better shot at that. But if you look, you can see that the pipe is coming down from the hopper here, and it goes into the two tanks down here. Now, let me show you what else I did here. Back it off a bit, and we'll turn this around a bit. From here up is not secured. No, actually this one is secured. This one is not secured, so I need to, in case I need to do some more work. Now, my thought, and I don't know if this is going to be accurate or whatever, but see if you follow along and see if you agree. Okay, so we know that the material is going to come from here and go into the tanks. From the tanks, if it should go down through and come into the trucks, unless there's some sort of valve, it'll just keep leaking, right? That's my thoughts. So what I did was, I guess you can see that pretty good. I really don't know what this little shack was for, but I decided to make it a control room. So from the bottom of the hoppers, you can see right there, goes into this little shack right here, gets valves turned on and off or whatever, then comes out and goes into the mixers. I still need to adjust the height of these pipes down here, but anyhow, let's get back into the rest of this. Okay. So now, from this, we're going to have a tank sitting next to it. And how the material gets from the tank is going to be via conveyor. But now, I don't want to make the conveyor just a square tube like I've been doing some of my other conveyors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a two-legged bucket elevator. And that's what this video is going to be about. So, I think we should get started on that because it looks like there's going to be some little details I'm going to have to make and all that kind of good stuff. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright guys, before I get started on showing you how I do this, I want to make a disclaimer that this is not my idea. I also, like you guys, look for videos for inspiration. So, one of my subscribers' channel is TFL, the Fulton line. he just happened to be doing a 2-leg bucket elevator. So with that being said, I will be using this 292 angle, and for the legs I'll be using this 189. So let's begin. As you can see down here, I've already got my first piece measured, and this is the one that's going to go from the tank to the mixer structure. I'm making some modifications to this. I don't know if I'm going to use a tube to deliver it to the hopper or piping. But anyhow, this was left over from the Rick's Products grain elevator for end scale, but it wasn't quite wide enough. So what I'm going to do is I added these pieces of plastic in here to make it the same width as one of the legs. Let's see if I can get a better shot of this. So now it's the same width as the legs. So you're saying, well, there's going to be a big gap there, right? Well, not necessarily, because then when this is all dry, I'm going to take this and wrap it with a piece of 5,000 styrene. Anyhow, we're going to start there because I think everything's going to depend on how this works out, and then we could do the rest of this. So stay tuned, and I'll go ahead and put this guy together, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, while the elevator head is drying up, I went ahead and marked off my 10-foot increments that I am going to put the angle irons to secure the 2 legs. Now, to keep the whole thing as square as possible, I added this piece of balsa wood down here, and I taped it down to my glass, and I also have my right angle here. So it's very important to try and keep these as square as possible. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these on edge, and I already figured out how much space I want in between. I'm going to be using this 177 piece of styrene that I am going to put in the center here. Get this tape out of the way. And what I'm going to do then is push this up against here, and push this guy up against here like that, and push him up there against like that. And then I will tape all of this together, and I will start putting my angle irons on. So stay tuned, and we'll get that set up, and we'll get ready to go with that. Be right back. Alright guys, what you're looking at now is the partially assembled bucket elevator. You can see each leg here, all my angle irons on there. I originally was going to do these at 10-foot increments, but I thought it was a bit too much, so I went with 20-foot increments. This here will be the inlet from the tank. So in other words, you'll have this, and I also got the head completed. As you can see, I did my little bracing on here. I did make it wider so it will fit exactly on top of the elevator. Anyhow, there is going to be a little bit of a walkway up here, and I'll show you in the next clip what I'll be using and how I make it. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, on the top of the elevator, there's going to be a walkway up here, and what I'm going to do for this walkway is I am going to use this JTT product. It's a diamond plate. Even though it says it's HO, it's such a small piece that I don't think anybody's going to notice that. And if I didn't say that, you guys probably wouldn't notice that. But anyhow, as you can see, if I can zoom in here, that I have the stanchion or catwalk or whatever you want to call it already drawn out. It's 10 feet wide by 12 feet deep. The conveyor should fit right in there like that, and the extra space you see behind there will be for the ladder that I am going to install on this. I don't think I told you guys that, but there'll be a ladder that goes up here. Also, I'll have a couple, at least one conduit going up there because there will be a motor on the top. Anyhow, let me continue with this, and I'll go ahead and cut this out, and we'll see how it goes. And remember one thing, when you cut stuff out, always cut it smaller than what you actually need, You can always make it bigger, but you can't make it smaller. So let's get down here. Alright, and always new blade. For each project that I do, I always change my blades out. It gets expensive after a while, but it's well worth it because your cuts come out nice and clean. So we'll start here in the middle, and I never push down hard. I always let the tool do the work. Now I know that this might be a bit small, and I may have to adjust it by sanding it out. Now you see that didn't take very long. And then we'll do this guy here. Nice easy strokes, not a lot of pressure. Like I said, let the tool do the work. And you can see we're already through there. Now we'll cut this piece out. And there you go. Now to cut the entire piece out. This piece is not totally square. I got to square it up on this side. But anyhow, we'll just go ahead and do the same thing here. Nice easy cuts. And we're through. And one more cut. And there you go. All cut out. And you notice that one side is actually bigger than the other side is because I am going to put a what will appear to be a motor on this side. Okay, so now I know that I think I'm a little bit too small. I may have to adjust it, but let's see. Oh yeah, got to adjust it a bit more. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do the adjustments, and then there'll also be handrails on top of this and all that kind of stuff to add some more detail to this. So stay tuned and we'll be back shortly. Alright guys, I decided that I was going to put the silo and the elevator on one little pad like this, and the reason for that is because two reasons. One, when I want to work on it, I can just lift the whole thing up and work on it, and number two, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not. Let's see if I can help you out a little bit. I intend to add some guy wires on here, and so if you can see that, there's 4 tiny little holes that the guy wires will sit into. I know it's hard to see, and I'm trying to hold it in there so you guys can see it, but anyhow, it's a detail that I saw in pictures and videos that I've found for this plant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this guy. He's already got a center mark on there and all that stuff, and this where the green is won't get painted because that's where the elevator and the feed from the silo to the elevator will be. So let me go ahead with this, and I'll bring you back when I got it done. Stay tuned and we'll be back shortly. Alright guys, what you're looking at here is the catwalk, or whatever you want to call it, that I was showing you guys how I built it. I added some angle iron at the bottom just to make it a bit sturdy, and I also added some struts down here to support the back end of this. As you can see, I've also added a ladder. Unfortunately, someone made, well, let's start again. A while back, when I did one of my other videos with ladders that didn't have a safety cage on it, that person made a remark to me about safety cages. So I can get safety cages for this in N scale, but the price is phenomenal. It's a gold medals product, and I think for one safety cage would be about 16 bucks. So with that being said, I am going to attempt to make my own safety cages. That'll be a whole new process in another video sometime down the road. But anyhow, that's this part. Now we'll move on to a silo. The silo is just not a tank, guys. It gets a little bit of detail also. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I did add my safety wires that'll hold the elevator. But also, along here, I'm going to have some electrical conduit. Because that's what's in the picture. So I'm trying to keep this as detailed as I can, and I figure everything that I could put in the front will catch the eye. Anyhow, let me give you an idea of what this is going to look like. Put this a little bit together here, and you got to understand, guys, this is still in a mock-up stage. Nothing is really secured yet, but anyhow, that's how that's going to look right there. Can you see that? Let's move it up a bit. And let's see if we can turn this around a bit without dropping everything. But as you can see, at the top here, of course it's not totally connected yet. Like I said, nothing is secured here yet. But once it's all secured, this is how it's going to be. So the product would come up here, would dump into the head, and this is going to be a gravity-fed type of conveyor. That's why I've got it on a slight tilt. Anyhow, I have another one of these to build that will go on this side, and it will get into this building right here. It would come out of this building, come up to the top of here, and feed this silo. Anyhow, I'm going to do that one exactly the same as I did this one, and when I finish that, I'm going to call this part of Drake Cement number 4 good. So stay tuned, and we'll be back shortly. Alright guys, what you're looking at here now is the second bucket elevator that I built. Basically the same construction as the first one. Still need to paint the struts that I put here, and this is going to get handrails and all that stuff, and hopefully those handrails will be here sometime by the time this video is posted. You can see the chute right here. This is a gravity feed, and it will go into this little guy. As you can see, there's a hole in there, and this guy sits right on top of the silo. So this also sits in a building. It gets fed by the previous structure that I built that goes on this side here. Anyhow, I'm going to put this kind of like together and show you what it's going to look like, give you an idea what it's going to look like. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, what you're looking at now is what this little scene of the cement plant is going to look like. Product will be coming from the structure that I built previously over here. It will feed into this building, and I have a clue that there might be something else that feeds this because there's only a pipe that goes here. Anyhow, we'll figure that out when we get to it. So it'll come up the bucket elevator, and this will be a gravity feed right here into this little shack. I don't know what it does, but I do see it in the pictures. Then it will come out at the bottom and come up this guy and feed into here. And then it'll go into these little silos that are down here, and eventually get to the cement mixers. Anyhow, I hope you like this part number 4 of cement, Drake Cement Plant. Wow, brain fart. Anyhow, as always, your questions, comments, input, and subs are welcome. For now, that's all, folks. BNSF 6951 out. Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Vinny Built Structures video. In this video is going to be, as the title says, Drake Cement Plant number 4. Before we get started into the actual video of this chiquita paquintina maboyo,